Hey, how's it going? I hope you're doing great. I've got some fantastic news for you. You may have heard it before, but if you haven't, I think it is one of the best things to know as a singer-songwriter who's trying to get your music into TV and film. So the number one thing that gets your music out there, the thing that makes you stand out from everybody else, the thing that leads to great success is not all the little things you might read online. It's not about like how you do it and should you have your stems done right and how do you reach out to the right people and all of these other things. It literally comes down to being authentic with your music. I didn't want you to just hear it from me. I wanted you to hear it from an actual music supervisor. So my good friend Chris is going to talk about this in a second. But if you're out there imitating, if you're out there following trends, if you're chasing the things that other people are doing, you're always following the leader. You always end up being second best and you never get ahead. You never stand out. If somebody does, hip hop and you decide, I see this opportunity. I want to try to get this spot, or I want to try to just write a bunch of different genres and write some hip hop and stuff like that. The people who have the passion, the people who have that do it every day, they're going to win because they love what they do. They get good at what they do because they love it. They're staying within their genius zone, and you can't compete effectively against them. Now, there's 1 in a million out there who can do a bunch of things super, super well. Most people can't, including myself. And so you should always stick to the things that you're really good at. And, even in songwriter, we've had imitators come and go over the years. We've been doing it almost 10 years. And the thing is that you've got to find your thing. We always went after what we did. We sort of cornered our thing that we do well. And that's how come we've had so much success at what we do. The same thing with your music. It's exactly the same. You got to find your sound. Now, you could say, well, I write folk music, and there's a bunch of people that write folk music. That's not the point. The point is, you sound like you. John Prine sounds like John Prine. He doesn't sound like Bob Dylan, okay? So you've got to kind of figure out what that thing is for you. Actually, at the end of this video, I'll have a link to another one of my videos on how to find your sound, how to find your voice. But if you can be authentic, if you can get your music out there and be true to yourself, connecting with people who can make things happen for you, that's of course the biggest challenge. How do you even get heard and so on? But the path from where you are now to that door, to try to break out of the noise here with because everyone else has got music out, that distance from here to there can be easily filled and perfectly filled with the idea of authenticity. So I want you to hear it from an actual music supervisor who's done a ton of stuff, who's been doing this for a very long time. Check it out.
Authenticity can come from something you've had no experience with whatsoever. It's putting yourself in that place and really kind of, being an actor, truly as a musician. I mean, especially writing for sync and stuff like that. You don't have to go through a situation to comprehend it. I mean, you can watch stories. I mean, it's the way we all feel when we watch a TV show or film or something like that. If you're emotionally connected and you feel something in our storytelling, we're replicating that because these are human stories written by human people and being, told by actors that are great at their craft. The same thing can happen with musicians, is that if you're great at your craft, you can take on this story that you are creating and basically perform it in a way that somebody could be like, oh my God, I'm like, did you go through that? Like, no, I didn't, but I've read about it. I've seen, stories about it. I've heard, I've felt, I have a friend that did this and that. I mean, it could be something that's totally outside of what you've ever experienced. You could portray and make very authentic to yourself, but also, things that you've gone through. You're going to have a lot. I mean, Taylor Swift does an amazing job with what she's written and created, through her experiences of relationships and life and growth and everything like that. And from there, that resonates with people fully because it's very relatable. And that's something, in our projects, we're trying to tell stories that are relatable to people because that's what draws people in. It's things that, people have heard about, seen, witnessed, gone through. And, we're trying to do that in a musical sense where people can actually feel it. And, my biggest thing about authenticity is, do I believe what the, artist is doing? whether it's instrumentally, whether it's vocally, whatever. And do I, believe it? Do I feel it? And if I, and that's something we really want to do, because we've all heard songs that are like, oh, that's a great song, except for the vocalist just didn't really hit I didn't feel that visceral, raw emotion or like that. Like you talked about Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. That was visceral emotion. That was just, anger and just kind of just going for it and everything like that. And that's something that you really like, Alice in Chains was great with that. We've got Post Malone of the feelings and emotions and vibes that he puts together. Beyonce, you can go down, the line and like that. Sabrina Carpenter, what she creates is just, you believe that artist fully. Gracie Abrams, I mean, et cetera, down the line. You feel that power, that energy, that feeling, what that person has going on inside their head, mind, and heart. And that's what we're looking for, is something that's, you truly feel deep down inside, whether it be whatever emotion you're trying to connotate.
So I hope that makes sense. I hope you're not going to chase trends, follow the leader, try to imitate to get there, because you're always going to be second best. It's just the way it's going to work out. Follow your path, do what you do best, and you will find a home for the thing that you are great at. So leave me a comment below. Let me know how you feel about that. Do you feel authentic with your music? Do you tend to imitate and so on? I'd love to hear your story. I'd love to hear what you think. Leave me a comment below. I read every single one. I respond to them all, and I'll see you there.